Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It is wonderful to be back with you. It's a beautiful day here at Tembe Elephant Park in KwaZulu-Natal of South Africa, and my name is Amy. I will be with you for the show today, and beautiful day. The elephants are out here. The grass is green, the sky is blue, some lovely fluffy white clouds around, and it is picture perfect. Now remember that, of course, this is a live and interactive show, so please do chat to me. I would love to hear from you, and as we go along throughout the next 2 hours, we can chat about anything and everything, whether it's something to do with what we're looking at or just in general. I'd love to know who you are, where you're watching from, and perhaps what you're looking forward to seeing today. I've been away from the waterholes for a little bit, so I'm not sure everything that's been going on, but I'm sure you all have had a wonderful week, and I'm excited to be with you for the last 2 days of January, today and tomorrow. I can't believe that the end of the month has finally arrived. Peter, hello. You are joining us from a cold and wet Belfast, and nice to hear from you, and I'm glad that you are joining us even though it is cold and rainy by you. It's definitely not that everywhere in Africa at the moment. There might be some cool and rainy spots, but for the most part, at least here in Southern Africa, we are enjoying very warm weather. A little bit of rain here and there, but the main rains that we had have definitely passed for the time being. Everything is drying out quite nicely. Ollie, hello, happy Friday to you as well. Almost forgot that it's the start of the weekend. Some of you already living in that, some of you just beginning your Friday, and others are in Africa and are sort of in the middle of your workday, heading for the end this afternoon. Okay, well, I believe some zebras have arrived at Oldonyo, so let's head over there. Well, this is always such a beautiful scene here. Oh, there's a little Namakwa dove there, a male with the black face. And I love the angle that we have at this waterhole and being able to see these zebras like this. It really is beautiful. Cassie, hello. You want to know if I have ever seen an elephant cow give birth? I have not. Not a live birth. I have seen a very newborn calf. I've seen the placenta of an elephant cow sort of on the ground vultures coming to grab it actually, but never the birth itself with the calf actually dropping out. No, I think there are some lucky few who have seen that, but I think the longer that I'm in the bush, the longer one has the chance of seeing these very rare things. So hopefully in the future it would be very cool just to be able to witness that part of nature with that animals experience, and it is something that's quite rare to witness, as animals are quite secretive about these things generally. They're so vulnerable when something like that is taking place, so generally they're trying to find a spot that's a little bit more sheltered, or sometimes even away from the group. With elephants, they often are within the herd, or the herd sort of crowds around, from what I understand, so it's not always in a place that's visible. Alright, the zebras have moved off. We're going to head over to Founders. Well, this is always a treat to have here, looking very much the same kind of weather, all the way between KwaZulu-Natal, where we started the show, and down in the Eastern Cape. But here we have some beautiful rhinos. There's a blessback walking past in the background. Shiv, hello. You say that I am keeping you company on your way to work this morning, and you are asking to send some warm weather to the UK. Oh, Shiv, I wish that I could. I'm sending you all the warmth I can through the screen. I'm very grateful that we don't experience as harsh a winter as you all do in other parts of the world. Although when you're on game drive at 6 a.m. in June, in parts of South Africa, it does feel pretty icy out there. We've been seeing the rhinos around here at Founders quite a lot. I mean, we are lucky that they do tend to hang around here at this waterhole in general, but I think things are so dry at the moment in the Eastern Cape that where there are waterholes, it is attracting a lot of animals, especially here at Founders. I don't know how the sightings have been earlier this week, but definitely in the times that I've been with you all on the show, we've had a lot of animals coming through, not only rhinos, but giraffe, antelope, and zebras as well. Alright, well, the rhinos aren't sticking around too much at the moment. Hopefully maybe a little bit later they'll come into full view. But in the meantime, let's head back over to some elephants at Tembe. Bungiwe, I agree with you. These elephants definitely look beautiful and peaceful. And the scenes here at Tembe often are. You sometimes get the odd tussle between some bulls, but more so than not, we have very peaceful scenes here. Beautiful colors, reflections. Wow, that elephant has such wide tusks. He's moving this way now. I mean, they are quite long. Definitely not as long as some of the other bulls that we see on the show, but just very wide and sort of thick around their base. Does speak to a sign of maturity within elephant bulls. Tino, you want to know if elephants recognize their own reflections? I think they do. And the reason I say that is that I've never seen an elephant or heard of an elephant sort of getting worked up at the sight of their own reflection. With other animals, the ones that come to mind are, for example, southern brown horn bulls or Egyptian geese or an animal like that, where they see their reflection and they see it as an immediate threat, and then they get all worked up and start picking at the glass or whatever they see in their reflection in. But with elephants, I think there's a recognition there, or a certain level of intelligence that can differentiate compared to other animals. You might find in the young ones, in calves, that they might have get a little bit of a fright maybe in the beginning, but then eventually they, don't react like that anymore. Those are also some impressive tusks there, actually, my goodness me. And not only are they long, but I was speaking earlier about being quite wide, and I think their shape is just very regal in how they sit on this elephant bull. Also very similarly sized, both of them, which is not always so common. You can see that his left one is damaged on the tip, so he might actually favor that left tusk a little bit more. You can just see the amount of water that's here at the moment. Usually elephants wouldn't be walking through water at that point to get around the water hole, from what I remember. And there's just been such a huge quantity of rain that's fallen over this month, not only in the Lowveld, but it's all the way down into northern KwaZulu-Natal as well. Tembe is very close to the Mozambican border, where there has been such severe flooding as well. So they also have experienced an extraordinary amount of rain and water levels increasing. You can see that here at this waterhole as well. Cassie. So when it comes to baby elephants, they start to develop that first set of molars, start to sort of push through at about 4 months of age or so. And elephants in their lifetime will have 6 sets of teeth. I think that last set comes in just after about 30 years, I think. I'll have to just check if it's 30 or 40. I think it's about 30, 35 years. And then that has to last them sort of the last 20 years or so of their life. Depending, of course, how old they live. On average, it's said an elephant lifespan to be about 60, but it can be 52, 53, sometimes a little bit over 60. It does depend on circumstances and where they are and the different sort of factors that might contribute to their lifestyle and how quickly those teeth wear down.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips, as well as fireside chats, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
And the zebra there having a little bit of a scratch on the rock. Well, it's all happening here. We've got the little one suckling from mom. We've got the zebra having a scratch all the different spots, getting a good little scrub. This definitely seems to be the chosen rock for the zebras. It's the right height, I think, for, you know, something like a zebra to be able to reach the neck and the head and the shoulders and even under the belly if they need to. Looks like everyone's having a little bit of a rest here now. I mean, zebras don't ruminate, so they won't be doing that. But I wonder if it's just the time that they're taking to decide whether they are going to leave the water, or if they want to see if they're thirsty again, or maybe just having a bit of a break from their sort of feeding and then drinking and then having a little bit of a scratch. Cassie, it is such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the show and that you've learned so much. We are all learning every single day out here, and it's part of what keeps us doing what we do, and there's always new knowledge to be gained and better understanding of how things work out here in the wild. And we have just had to head back over to Jackie's Dam in the Sabi Sand, where there are some hippos that are enjoying all the water. And Cassie, enjoy your cup of tea and freshly baked scones. That sounds wonderful. I don't know what you have on your scones. I think the classic is cream and jam, but it sounds wonderful. We are gonna head back over to Tembe. Well, that is classic elephants sort of mixing up the water, getting a good consistency full of ground, creating a sort of muddy slush that they love to then throw on themselves. I think it sticks better to their skin when there's a good amount of dirt in there. That elephant doing a double scratch there, balancing on completely on his right side. He was using both his front left and back left leg to scratch his sort of ankles, I suppose. And you can see how he's using that front foot to sort of bring up a certain amount of mud, which he then uses his trunk to throw on himself. Jive Bunny agreed. I think that this elephant is loving his little landscaping patch and gets to mold it however he wishes. Also, not much competition for this particular spot at the moment. There's always sometimes a little bit of an issue between the bulls as to who's going to get to be at a certain puddle and who needs to move on. But doesn't look like anyone has given this boy a hard time for the time being. Okay, let's head over to a giraffe. Who's that? I don't know. Oh, not only a giraffe, but also a few little warthogs. Mom and some piglets. Well, very cute to see these warthogs here. We're going to head over to a herd of ellies who's arriving at the waterhole at Tau. Always much excitement when elephants are on the way to the water. Look at them, they've got a little spring in their step, a little bit of urgency. And it looks like they're coming. Oh, that one's giving an Egyptian goose a hard time. Oh, there's so many little ones as well. So thirsty, excited to be here, I'm sure. And then I think from after their drink, I don't know if they'll head here to the muddy patch or to the opposite side of the water hole, which we should get a good view of when they decide to do their sort of muddy bit, or maybe even have a swim, depending. But there are at least 2 huge elephant bulls that are approaching as well at the back there. My goodness me, he is massive. And you can just see really how clearly how much larger an elephant bull is there. You can see him coming closer now, specifically the one on the left, in comparison to an elephant herd. I mean, those are some very large females in that herd as well. But just look how he stands head and shoulders above the others. And you can see that as the ellies are moving now, these zebra are being forced to get out of the way. And not that the elephants are being aggressive about it at all, but it's just, you know, they are bigger, and the zebras don't want to be in the way of them. Quick drink before they head over now to splash down. I feel like these zebras should have just looped around these elephants, because they are not going to stop coming. This is now their favorite place where they get some mud from, have a good old mud wallow. They should have just completely gone back to the other side. They look so excited to be here. I can't wait. Their little one is already falling down, just wanting to collapse into the mud and have some fun. Oh, look at that little one. I agree, Melanistic Marvel. It is wonderful to see a herd here. We do see them relatively often at Tau. I would say more so than other locations, like Oldonyo, for example, even Tembe. But always nice to see them having fun like this in the water. Sorry, in the mud, should I say. That bull also just mixing up the mud. Oh, a few of them lying down now. Some hartebeest in the background there.
Did you know that 90% of Madagascar's wildlife exists nowhere else on Earth? The Indri's haunting howl echoes through misty rainforest, a sound we will never forget. Travel east where lemurs soar through emerald canopies and coral reefs shimmer beneath turquoise seas. This isn't just a journey. It's a once-in-a-lifetime wildlife adventure I'd like to take you on. Join me, James Hendry, on this exclusive island safari.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Peter, I agree. I mean, why not, get completely covered from top to toe with mud? I think it must last them as well longer. If they do a really good job at sort of coating the entirety of the surface of their skin with mud like this, it must last them pretty much the whole day before they need to do any more coating, maybe not even have to come back until tomorrow to make sure that they keep cool. Of course, the temperature is dropping significantly in the evening time. And I also think there's an element of enjoyment. I mean, he had done a pretty good job a little while ago already, and now it's just because it's, I think, fun and he's enjoying himself. Chrissy, exactly, it does look like fun. Ooh, let's head over to Oldonyo. Well, this is cool. We have a beautiful secretary bird that's here for a drink, often in pairs, but we have seen two here together before. But for now, it just seems to be the one. Oh my gosh, did it just go for something? Oh, I think it might have moved out the way. It looked like it was chasing after. I thought maybe it was going for a smaller bird or something like that. It seems to have flown away. Might come back though, doesn't mean that it's gone for good. But this giraffe is definitely thinking of coming closer. Pammy, that was your favorite bird? Oh, I'm so glad we could show it to you. You love the knee-high leggings. It's interesting. They've got such, the way the feathers fall on the leg is fascinating to me. It sort of is like they're wearing a pair of bicycle shorts. Oh, okay. Something must have disturbed that giraffe. Sometimes there is a bit of movement from the viewing deck as well here. From my understanding, sometimes there can be one or two things that can disturb them if there's not something else that's about to pop out. Alright, we're going to head back over to Towel. There seem to be quite a lot more Ellies here, and I think these are all young boys. Well, some older boys on the left, but a few youngsters on the right there, eyeing each other out. Greg, so that's such an interesting question, and I think commonly the bird that we would be thinking about is something like an oxpecker. But there are other cases of things like cattle egrets, more so that I've seen photos of in East Africa riding on elephants' backs. So that does happen from time to time, and more using that as sort of a point to eat insects that are flying around or even disturbing the soil than pecking at the elephant itself. So that doesn't bother the elephant too much. But when it comes to oxpeckers, there's a few different thoughts around it, from the elephants not enjoying the birds sitting on them, so they don't really allow them to sit for long, to my thoughts really being that there's just not enough ticks for them really on the elephants. Elephants do certainly get ticks. We see them especially in the sort of more sensitive areas, often between the front legs, sometimes for the males around the penile sheath. So they do get ticks, but the ticks that they get as well, you can imagine how big a tick must need to be in order to reach the blood as well, the sort of the ability to penetrate through the skin. So the ticks generally are huge that we see on elephants, and just not very many of them, unlike on a giraffe or a rhino where you just see hundreds of them all over, which means plenty of food for the oxpeckers. So I think realistically it is more worth their while, the oxpeckers, to go to animals that have a higher tick load, and a higher tick load of ticks that are more easier to eat, than on an elephant where that just isn't available to them. So Greg, I hope that makes sense. Well, it seems the rhinos are back at Founders, so let's head over there. Monique, yeah, fair enough. I mean, when that tail goes up, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen next. Often there are some bran muffins that are going to fall out the backside there. And sometimes it does just mean urination and no defecation. But each time can be a little bit different depending. And they'll do it right there in the water hole. They have no worries about that. And I'm not sure if this is a pair of young bulls, females, mother and calf. I'm not sure. Just trying to see if there's any clear signs that I can pick up on. It's all a little bit unclear at the moment. Eagle lover, interesting question. We've seen the dragonflies sort of flying around here a few times at Founders, and in the summer they are very active. And actually one of the sort of, in their world, one of the apex predators doing what they do. And you want to know about the lifespan, so it varies greatly, eagle lover. It can be anything from a few weeks to a few months, even up to 6 months or a year, depending on conditions. And that can be often to do with how warm it is. The sun and the exothermic properties are very much needed to determine the lifespan, as well as predation, how much rain, wind, the harsh conditions they are, that influence that, as well as the food availability. So the more available all those resources are to them for survival, the longer they can live for, until eventually, basically, often as the summer ends, the food for them also starts to run out, and so they sort of reach the end of their life cycle. They lay their eggs, and so the next sort of set comes through once those eggs hatch, and then the nymphs go into the water, and then they molt and grow and then emerge as dragonflies later on within their life cycle. So all very interesting, but the lifespan anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. Oh, fantastic. Well, from rhinos, let's head back over to an Ellie at Oldonyo. Cassie, that's not a silly question at all. You're wondering how the water goes down a giraffe's neck when it's leaning down to drink. And it does exactly, you actually mentioned, you've worked it out yourself, and basically they'll drink and it like sort of sits at the back of the throat, and then as they stand up and lift their head, that water will then go down. I mean, for them to try and swallow, for the muscles to work while gravity is pulling it down towards the ground, just doesn't make sense. So as they lift up their head, that water will then be sort of released, I suppose, and gravity will work naturally to pull it down towards the ground. And that's what I've read anyway. Of course, I can't see inside a giraffe, but I believe that is what the logical conclusion is for when a giraffe is drinking. It's part of the reason why they can't sort of just stay down and drink for too long. At some point they have to lift their head again, not only for blood flow and circulation, but also to allow that water to go down the neck. This bull is so beautiful. I thought he was going to move off at a second earlier, but I'm so glad that he's decided to stay for a little bit longer with us. Join me at Mabula Private Game Reserve from 6 to 11 May 2026 for a 5-night private safari for just 6 guests. Just incredibly exciting. Enjoy guided walks, take part in rhino conservation efforts, and explore Mabula's beautiful landscapes from open plains to rocky hills, alive with birds, animals, and vibrant plant life.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
It seems like more and more animals are coming out of the woodwork here, At Aldonia, we've got some zebras now, a giraffe, another elephant on approach. Everyone very comfortable with each other at this stage. Well, let's quickly head over to a bee eater that is at Finch-Hatton's. Well, this is lovely to see. We have a blue-cheeked bee eater here, and we've actually had them here before, but it's really nice to see this one so clearly for us. Very pretty indeed. Seems to be quite windy. It's balancing there. Well, I think it has headed off, everyone. We're going to head back over to Daniel. Jan, lovely to hear from you. Yes, it is good to be here. We've had a very calm, relaxing show today. Lots of animals around though, which has been nice. These elephants are just moving off here at Old Donyo, but we've had quite a lot of action around at different locations across the continent. And speaking of, let's head back over to Tembe. Always nice to see some elephants having some fun. Johan, I've just been listening as well to the birds and trying to differentiate. There's definitely weavers around. I heard a tinkerbird as well. We normally also hear the gorgeous bushshrike here, which is such a beautiful call. I don't think I've heard it just yet. Also the southern boo-boo was calling. Okay, let's head over to some warthogs that found us. Oh, well, this is always very cute. And quite a lot of little warthogs around. They can have little ones throughout the year, but specifically now in the summer we do see a lot more babies around where there's more food. Ah, well, it looks like our rhino friends are here still too, on the side of the waterhole.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Ooh. This is action-packed.
When the Mara turns green, life surges, the air hums, the earth stirs, and the wild comes alive. Here, the wonder never ends. It just changes color. Every storm, every sunrise, every sweeping vista is an expression of wild magic. Visit the Masai Mara. Experience the magic.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Looks like that oxpecker is busy sort of preening and drying itself off on the back of the rhino that's standing. We do often see them doing that sometimes. Probably came down to the water, had a little bit of a water bath. Is now perched back up there, finishing doing its preening. Billy, no, not that I know of. I haven't seen a clip springer on the show today or recently at all. I don't know if they were seen at another time in the last few weeks at all, but that would be very cool if they did make an appearance. generally speaking, the habitat with klipspringers, and their name basically coming as rock jumper, they are usually closer to the rocks. Sometimes they do come down, to the low-lying areas, but waterholes and where our cameras are, generally speaking, wouldn't be so much where we would see klipspringers. Of course, there are always exceptions. That little oxpecker's now come to dry itself off on this rhino. That's very cute. Definitely had a bit of a water bath, I think, and is now on its host. Yeah, melanistic marble, I don't think we're going to see too much movement, it seems, from the one rhino that's laying down. Very lazy at the moment. Must be very comfortable there in the water, having a lovely doze indeed. We are just about at the end of the show, everyone. I can't believe it, but it's true. It's been a wonderful time with you all. I think the waterholes have treated us to a lot of activity today, which is always nice to see. I loved seeing, even though it was short, the secretary bird up in East Africa. That was really nice. And of course a herd of elephants at Tau. It was nice to see them all coming down and enjoying the mud. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here at Live at the Waterhole today. It was great to chat to you. Thank you to everyone who did send through comments and questions. As always, it's lovely to have you as part of our show. And don't forget that later on this afternoon there will be Mara Live and the Sunset Safari, which will be right here on Wild Earth. And then we'll be back tomorrow with the Waterhole show, and I'll be back with you as well. So looking forward to spending another time at the Waterhole with you. We'll have to see what happens. Otherwise, I hope that you all keep well and have a lovely rest of your day, just like these resting rhinos. We'll see you soon, everyone. Goodbye for now.